Let's go to your Politics of Large reporter, Steve Larch. He was there during Governor Newsom's final address. Lasted a little over an hour, went over a bunch of stuff. Steve, what stood out to you?
Yeah, standing here in the rotunda here, just getting out of this speech, which lasted 1 hour and 4 minutes. The governor speaking about the budget, speaking about homelessness, speaking about housing affordability. We'll get into some of those details here in just a moment, but I thought it was very interesting how he started off his speech. As you mentioned, he has not given this State of the State speech inside the chambers here in 5 years, speaking at various places other than the chambers and also in pre-recorded comments. So he started his speech off today acknowledging that and then asking for grace, saying that he has been diagnosed with dyslexia, and that was one of the factors that led him to not give this written speech in this setting. Here's the governor speaking about that at the beginning of his comments.
The reason I haven't been back here in a few years is, as you know, I have no problem speaking, and perhaps, sometimes a little more long-windedly than people like. But when it comes to the written text, that has never served me well. I did a little children's book a few years back that sort of exposed the truth, the ugly truth about my challenges with reading. I'm not shy or embarrassed about my 960 SAT score, but I am a little bit about my inability to read the written text.
So the governor opening up with that revealing comment there at the very outset of his hour-long State of the State speech. Getting into some of the details of the speech now, the governor working with what is currently an $18 billion deficit, put some new numbers out for the very first time today. He's calling what he says will be a $43 billion revenue increase in this coming year's budget, which will be interesting to see when he releases the budget tomorrow. But here's what he said today.
You may want to write this down. It includes revenues that are $42.3 billion higher than we forecasted. $42.3 billion higher. Why? Why? Because our economy's growing. Our population's growing. Why? Because of the energy and daring of entrepreneurs that are growing and dominating in the industries of the future.
So I was able to reach out to the Department of Finance to ask how that will impact this budget deficit that's projected right now. No word yet from the Department of Finance on if that does mean that there will be a surplus when the budget is announced tomorrow, but we do know the working number from the LAO up until this point had been an $18 billion deficit. So that new number will impact the overall state budget when it is announced tomorrow, the governor's proposed budget, I should say. Finally, we're going to play a soundbite here talking about housing affordability, a crisis in the state of California. There has been new rules that allow for easier development of housing, reduced CEQA regulations in the past year. The governor today also announcing in the coming year he wants to work on making sure that homes that are owned in California are not owned by private equity companies. Here's the governor on that.
It's shameful that we allow private equity firms in Manhattan to become some of the biggest landlords here in our cities in California. It's time to tackle that issue, and I look forward to working with all of you.
In Sacramento, we know that in the aftermath of that housing bubble several years ago, many private equity firms scooped up a lot of the homes here, and they have held onto those homes. There are some 2,000 homes in the Sacramento area alone owned by one single private equity firm. And so that is a story that we will continue following. But here's the governor's highlights right here, just as he's wrapped up his hour and 4 minute long State of the State, his final State of the State as the governor of California, Dom.
All right, Steve, we know you. We appreciate you keeping an eye on this. We'll see you throughout the afternoon with more on what the governor's final State of the State address. Steve, thanks so much. Don't forget, coming up tonight, Steve will have much more on the governor's final address and his plans for the state. That'll be all coming up right here on CBS 13. That'll be starting at 4:30 p.m.